What's up, guys? Eric Prey, Focus Fishing Guide Service and Table Rock Fishing Intel. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Monday, March 23rd. Just finished up a guide trip, and it was, unfortunately, it was kind of slow. It was pretty darn slow for us. Didn't do well at all. Went out for a little bit afterwards and caught a couple more fishing shallow. The bite has been pretty good. Lake is up, but the bite has been pretty good. As far as our lake level is concerned, we are 923.58, I think, so about 8.5, a little bit more than 8.5 feet high. Got some more rain coming tonight and tomorrow, so we'll see what that does to us. Beaver's about 8.5 feet high. Bull Shoals is already over 12 feet high, so they're definitely definitely going to be dropping water down into Bull Shoals. And trying to drain beaver and trying to drain Table Rock, but it looks like we're going to have high water again for this spring, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Water temperature, it had warmed up to about 52, 53. For the most part today, I saw 50 to 51. I think the colder weather yesterday kind of cooled the water off, and I think it hurt the bite a little bit. I imagine if I stayed out all day, towards the end of the day, they'd probably start biting a little bit better. But first thing this morning, I mean, when I launched, I was looking at 49, so it definitely did cool the water off, and I think that's what hurt the bite today more than anything else. Do want to show you guys a little feature on the Table Rock Fishing Intel website real quick. We're just going to go over the news feature, show you how to find news, where the latest news is on the website. Alright guys, just going to show you something real quick on the website, something actually we just added on the website this week. Here we are on the home page. Scroll down, get down here. The first thing you're going to see is latest Table Rock updates. This is anything that is new, and it'll also show you what day. So this was 2 days ago, 2 days ago. That was actually yesterday, and so was that. But anyway, it'll show you the newest stuff, the latest stuff that is on the site as we put it on there. Then if you want to look at just articles or just news, here's our list of all the different articles that are on there. That gives you the top 5 that we've got right now, but there's a ton more. And same with news. You know, we did a water clarity report over the weekend, got some photos of the water clarity at different parts of the lake, give you an idea what the water's like, talked about the lake rising and where it was going to crest and everything else. But anyway, this gives you guys an idea how to access the website and how to access the information on the website, and maybe save a little bit of time surfing around. You can find stuff a lot faster. And if you've not been on the website for a day or two and you just want to see what's new, boom, everything that's brand new is right here on the home page, so you can find it real easy. So there you go, guys. That makes it easier for you to find the brand new stuff as we put it on the website, plus any news that we've had. And heavens knows we've had plenty of news this last week with the Corps canceling all the tournaments through the middle of May. Many of you probably saw the video I posted on Facebook about that. If you haven't, you might go check that out. You know, we're still fishing as long as they let us fish, as long as they don't shut the ramps down, as long as they don't tell us we all have to stay in our homes until further notice. I'm going to be out here fishing whether I've got guide trips or not. As a side note, anybody who's looking for a guide trip for the next few weeks, I can tell you that most of the guides are pretty well wide open. A lot of the resorts have closed down. Silver Dollar City's closed. Most of the shows are closed, so Branson is very slow. So if you're thinking about coming down and going fishing, definitely give us a call, because not just me, pretty much every guide on the lake is kind of scrambling right now. And we're all independent businessmen who we don't qualify for unemployment. So whatever the government's going to do when they finally get off their rear ends and do something probably won't help us a whole lot. But anyway, if you're coming down, say you're going to fish the lower end of the lake. Lower end's been kind of tough. I will tell you, you get around around Big Cedar Cove, and actually it's probably moved down a little bit more since yesterday. The water is dirty. It's definitely got a brown tinge to it. You've still got 8 to probably 12, maybe 14 inches of visibility, but it is definitely dirtier than we're used to on Table Rock. Down closer to the dam and more towards 0.5, the water is clearer. There is some dirty water coming out of Big and Little Indian there at Indian Point, so keep that in mind as well. So you will run into some dirty water in there. As far as the bite goes, There's definitely some fish up shallow. They seem to be moving up and moving back as the day progresses. They're not really staying up. Water's a little cold for it yet, but they are. You can catch a few up shallow. Best bite has been on either a swim bait or a stick bait. The swim bait bite really seems to be strong either with or without an underspin. If you're fishing and you find an area where you've got some runoff still coming into the lake, make sure you fish that. It seems that is holding some better quality fish and some fish. Throw in the Kitech 2.8 or 3.3 on that jeweled gem shad head. The new 2.0 head has been good, and those fish will be in that runoff. So if you can find them runoff, you can catch them there. Did catch a few flipping bushes once I dropped off my people today here in the mid-lake area, so I imagine you could probably catch a few flipping bushes as well. And there has been a pretty good crankbait bite down there as well, either on a rock crawler or a curve 55 up shallow, up inside that moss line. You will find some moss down there on the lower end. You're going to find it all over the lake. The crazy thing is, we're 8.5 feet high, so that first 8.5 feet, there's no moss. But from pretty much right where the old bank line is, 8.5 feet, out to some areas as deep as 20 feet, you're going to run into moss. Water stays up for a while, that deeper moss will start to die off, but we will still have a band of moss down there, probably 8 to about 10 or 15 foot. For the foreseeable future, and then the moss will start growing up towards the bank as well. Come here in the mid-lake area where I am today. Again, had a tough trip today. We did not catch them. We didn't catch them very good at all. Had a few bites. Seemed like the best bite was on a swim bait, and they had pulled back out. Everything that we caught here today, or everything that was going on today, was out in about 18 to 25 foot of water. They had been shallow. They were shallow yesterday. They were shallow on Saturday, shallow on Friday. But they have definitely pulled out with this front that came through. I think another front coming through tonight. I think they'll probably later in the day pull up shallow, but right now they were deep, throwing a swim bait, Kitech 2.8 on the little jewel gem shad 2.0, and basically scrubbing the bottom, and had to back the boat all the way out to about 30-35 foot of water. Let that sink all the way to the bottom, and then slow roll it on the bottom to get bit today. And those are the few bites we had. That's where they came from today. Like I said, I did go back out after I dropped my people off, and was kind of mad at the fish. So I wanted to go try a few things. Flipped a few bushes, caught a couple out of bushes. Nothing big, just 14 to 16 inch fish. Not a lot of fish in bushes. I had to flip a lot of bushes to get bit. Did throw a rock crawler down here and tried to just stay right on that old bank line at about 7 to 8.5 feet, and caught one doing that, and missed a couple of more, just not paying attention or whatever, just didn't hook them, or they didn't hit it right. But you can catch them on a rock crawler as well. You can still catch a few fish on a jerkbait here in the mid-lake, and probably all over the lake, as long as you've got some fairly clear water. And most of those jerkbait fish are going to be on the secondary points. I would say if it's a flat gravel secondary point and you can reach the bank, I would fish it up towards the bank all the way out to about 15 or even 20 feet. Keep the boat at about 25 would be your best bet there. Go up into the James. James is dirty. You get up above Ants Creek, actually up above Jackson probably. There's some debris down around Ants Creek, but definitely up above Jackson Hollow, you're going to see a lot of debris, a lot of big floating debris, and just some sawdust and whatnot. But there are some big logs floating, so if you're going up there, be careful. I can tell you in the Ants Creek area, you have got about 8 inches to maybe 16 or 18 inches of visibility. That was as of Saturday when I was up that way. Didn't seem to hurt the bite. Actually caught them on the jewel gem blade up there, fishing some of the flooded bushes and some of the flooded cover. A little bit steeper banks. They weren't really on the flat gravel, but they were on some of the steeper secondary points around Ants Creek. You go back in Ants, and there's some steeper secondaries back in there. Caught a few doing that. Caught a few on a jig up there on Saturday as well. The jig bite, they were on bushes, they were on cover, and we did have to switch to a darker jig. Had to throw black and blue up there to get bit, but you still got some decent visibility. At least on Saturday you had some decent visibility in Ants Creek and about Jackson Hollow, and then it really starts to get dirty. Talked to some guys that went up around Cape Fear over the weekend. They said it was very dirty and there was a lot of debris, so if you're going to make that run, pay attention, because there's a lot of stuff to hit up that way. But really, spinnerbait and a jig were the two best bites we had up there. Didn't throw a stick bait, the water was too dirty, and didn't throw a swim bait, and didn't throw a crankbait. Probably should have thrown a crankbait while I was up there, but we were getting bit on the gem blade, so I stuck with that. That seemed to be the better bite that we had going up there. Go up into the White River, and same sort of deal. It really seems like these fish are focusing on the old bank line. At least that's where they've been for the last couple of days. Wasn't up there today, but Saturday and Sunday they were definitely holding on that old bank line. Catch them a few different ways. You can definitely catch them on a jig, Jewel Pro Spider jig in 5/16, because it's really not that deep, so you don't need the heavier one. The water is clear. It starts to get really dirty, just downstream from Shell. Now, about at Campbell Point is where the water starts to get dirty. You've still got decent visibility. Kings River is muddy and has a lot of debris. The Kings River has a ton of debris in it, so really be careful if you're going to go run the Kings River. But it's definitely the muddiest part of the lake there, or maybe way up Long Creek is probably pretty muddy too. But caught them on a jig up there, 5/16 Jewel Pro Spider jig. In that clear water, you can catch them on Okeechobee Blue or Green Pumpkin Candy. You get in some of the dirtier, more stained water. Black and blue is going to be a better option. And I've been using the Speed Craw as a trailer. It seems like they want a little bit more movement, a little bit moving that water a little bit. And those fish are coming on some of the steeper banks, not necessarily 45-degree chunk rock, but some of the steeper banks and steeper points around cover, whether it be bushes or laydowns, or there's a bunch of stuff in the water right now, guys. So there's plenty of stuff to pitch at. You can catch them on a spinnerbait up there as well, Jewel Gem Blade. Again, targeting that old bank line, kind of slow rolling it. You hit some of these points and some of these pockets that have got some bushes that were on the bank line, and that's really a key area to throw that gem blade. Plus it comes through that stuff so well. Catching them doing that, and catching them on a crankbait, either the Curve 55 or the Rock Crawler. And again, targeting the bank line, targeting that old bank line. If you get too far outside that old bank line, you get in about 10 foot of water, you start to pick up moss. Get inside of it, you can catch them if they moved up and they're up there shallow, but it seems like the majority of the fish have moved up, at least when they're up. They're on that old bank line or inside of it. It really seems to be the best areas to fish up there. Guys, it is almost the end of March, and normally I'd be saying it's going to be busy here pretty soon, but we all know what's going on in the world. It sucks. Hopefully they'll figure out what we're going to do here. Hopefully we can get some answers. That's the biggest thing. I know everybody I've talked to and myself, I just want to know when's life going to try to get back to normal. But we are still fishing. We're going to be fishing. All the guides are still going out whenever we can get a trip. If you're coming down, I know a lot of the resorts are trying to stay open. You won't find the big hotels probably staying open, but a lot of the mom and pop resorts and a lot of the VRBOs, those sort of things, they are staying open. So unfortunately, there's not a whole lot for you to do in Branson right now. Hopefully by April that'll happen. But if you guys are coming down and you want to go fishing, you want to hire a guide, I'd appreciate if you give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743, and either book online on my website at focusfishing.com, or just give me a call. We can figure out dates and times and what works out best. But we'll get out there, do some fishing. The fishing is going to be fabulous here in the next couple of weeks. These fish are getting ready to move up. Everything we're catching, the females are full of eggs, so we're about 2.5, 3 weeks away from the spawn. So the bite's only going to get better as the water warms up. It's supposed to be in the 70s by the end of the week, so you know, really look at this water warming up and these fish really turning on probably the next 2 weeks. But guys, thanks for watching the videos. Take a minute to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We're up over 5,000, which I appreciate. That's great. If you haven't checked out Table Rock Fishing Intel, please take a minute and check that out. A lot of information on there, a lot of stuff for you if you want to join, be a pro member. just talked to a guy at the ramp that loves the daily fishing reports. We're going to be getting those out more and more and more as the season progresses, but a lot of information for you on there if you're going to come fishing. But guys, thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.